On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there is having themselves a great day. A lot of news to get into, and certainly some very strange news around this P ban. We'll talk about that, of course. I'm having a little tongue-in-cheek with it, maybe. But again, a lot going on in the world. We've got some stuff to celebrate. We've got some, of course, outrageous things happening, certainly with Portland, Chicago. Got a lot to talk about there. There is a war going on. I wanted to give a quick reminder. Something kind of hit me. I'm noticing lately I've been getting some interesting, I'll call them downloads. That's what everyone calls them. I don't really think that's what it is, but whatever. I mean, it's spiritual stuff for sure. It's channeled, whatever. I mean, call it what you want. I don't care. Something's up with schools right now. They are planning on doing some more sacrifices. What I recommend is place as many schools, start with the ones local around you if you can. Imagine bubbles around them, protecting them, bubbles of golden white light. Imagine bubbles all over the nation if you can, around schools, surrounding them, protecting them. Just surround them in the bubble of Christ white light, golden white light. And you will be doing so much to help protect these schools around us. They are trying to sacrifice. They are trying to create problems. Schools are going to be one of the big places where they're going to come after our little ones. So please, over the next number of weeks, keep them protected. Put that armor of God around them, and you don't have to, keep focusing on it. Once you place that bubble's solid. That bubble's good. Maybe remember it every once in a while. Oh, yeah, I've got bubbles placed all over the place. Cool. Maybe just re-envision it every once in a while, just knowing it's there. But it's much like the armor of God. You don't need to keep putting it on. Put it on. Wear it. Don't take it off. You'll be fine. Got a lot going on, guys, so be careful. Again, the courage to stand alone in an age of cowards. This is where many of us are right now. Where many of us are. We've shared this before. I'm going to share it again. It's incredible how to start a movement. YouTube, hope you don't get mad at me, but this is such an excellent video, and it's a reminder for those of us that have the courage to stand up and be a part of something and not care what everyone else thinks. And it's obviously a lot easier said than done.
If you've learned a lot about leadership and making a movement, then let's watch a movement happen start to finish in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons. First, of course, a leader needs the guts to stand alone and look ridiculous. But what he's doing is so simple, it's almost instructional. This is key. You must be easy to follow. Now here comes the first follower with a crucial role. He publicly shows everyone else how to follow. Notice how the leader embraces him as an equal. So it's not about the leader anymore. It's about them, plural. Notice how he's calling to his friends to join in. So it takes guts to be a first follower. You stand out and you brave ridicule yourself. Being a first follower is an underappreciated form of leadership. The first follower transforms a lone nut into a leader. If the leader is the flint, the first follower is the spark that really makes the fire. Now here's the second follower. This is a turning point. It's proof the first has done well. Now it's not a lone nut and it's not two nuts. 3 is a crowd and a crowd is news. A movement must be public. Make sure outsiders see more than just the leader. Everyone needs to see the followers because new followers emulate followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, then 3 more immediately. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point, and now we have a movement.
And folks, that is how a movement starts. It starts from you. You as the individual that's able to stand up in the middle of a sea of people that don't want to stand up, that are afraid to stand up, that are afraid that maybe someone will think something bad about them. But you're not afraid of that, are you? Maybe it's uncomfortable. Maybe it's strange. But you're kind of in it now, aren't you? And that's the thing. More people are going to continue to follow us as we move through this process. And a couple fun things to share here. First off, this is just beautiful. And I love sharing this kind of stuff. Check it out.
You sound white. No. I sound like I can hold down a job. I sound like PTO and dental. I sound articulate? Good. You can't sound white unless you're out here barking in Crayola. I sound like I was raised by someone who hugged me and checked my homework. Honestly, if sounding white just means using grammar, then sign me up. I'll even throw in a little semicolon with confidence. Hello? This is professionalism speaking. How may I direct your insecurity? You're mad I don't sound like your stereotype. I'm mad you still have one. I sound like I pay my taxes on time. I sound like a 401k. I sound like I've never yelled at a cashier at Walmart at midnight. I sound like I pay my rent on time. I sound like I read terms and conditions twice. I sound like HR would actually listen to me. I sound like I survived group projects. You mean I enunciate? Tragic. I sound like I use commas correctly. I sound like I don't take out a loan just to go buy Gucci. I sound educated. And most importantly, I sound like me.
Amen, girlfriend. Amen.
You sound
like you're still talking. All right, sorry. It sounds like what happens when you touch the wrong place. Kirill A. Dmitriev has another phenomenal post. This dude's on fire lately. I like him. I think he used to be the leader of Russia or something to that effect. He's high up the food chain, at least. Is $25 billion a sufficient penalty for promoting transgender ideology to children? Yeah. Breaking, Netflix has now lost over $25 billion in market value since Elon Musk called them out for pushing radical trans ideology on kids. Again, if you've still got a Netflix account, I don't care if it's because your kids, your wife, your girlfriend, I don't care. If you still have an account, there's two major nasty shows that have been out that we can't, there's certain things we just can't support anymore. Democrats are deciding to play politics right now with this whole shutdown. I've got a great little piece here of Johnson and Thune talking here. Check this out.
Welcome to day 3 of the Democrat shutdown. You can see it's pretty empty around here. There's normally a lot of activity. On an average day, we have about 7,000 visitors here in the Capitol. School children and school groups and visitors and constituents, but they're not here right now. And around the country, all around the country right now, real pain is being endured by real people because the Democrats have decided to play politics. I was giving our leadership press conference yesterday, and in mid-sentence, I was cut off by one of the networks, CNN. I hope you'll stay with us for a few more moments, because what I was about to say before they went to try to disclaim my remarks was I was about to point to the very page in Chuck Schumer's counter-proposal continuing resolution that proves the very fact that we've been stating. This is the counter-proposal continuing resolution that Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats filed. 2 weeks ago, mid-September, the House passed a clean, simple continuing resolution. It merely continues the Biden-era policies and spending that we're enduring right now for 7 more weeks to allow the appropriations process to continue. That's Republicans and Democrats in both chambers working together to get the government funded. We ran out of time because the end of the fiscal year is September 30th. We needed a few more weeks, so we sent it over. Ours is 24 pages in length. It says let's just keep the status quo so this process, this procedure, this regular order can be done. Chuck Schumer rejected that. Senate Democrats rejected that. Now 3 times they voted against that measure, and this is what they propose in advance, in exchange for that. But it says that they want to repeal the health subtitle changes. What does that refer to? You read down here, Public Law 119-21. That's the one big beautiful bill. That's the American Families Tax Cut. What they want to do is repeal the very important and necessary changes that Republicans voted to put into law.
We have an opportunity to pick up a House-passed bill that, if it passes the Senate, will be sent to the White House, the President will sign it, and the government will reopen. It is that simple and that straightforward, and that's all we're talking about here. All we need is a handful more Democrats. We have a majority of senators, 55 senators, have already voted for this clean, short-term, nonpartisan CR. As the Speaker said, no policy riders, no gimmicks, nothing in here that benefits Republicans. This is a straight-up 7-week funding resolution, and we need it to keep the government open. And if we don't keep the government open, you'll have all the things that the Speaker just alluded to, all the Americans who are adversely impacted by this government shutdown.
Yeah, this shutdown is happening, one, for that reason, and we've spent a lot of time talking about it. But really, one of the key things that's going to happen, and this is what the deep state is freaking out bad about, is the Obamacare program. There are huge subsidies that are paid for by the federal government to the people that get Obamacare insurance. Without that money given by taxpayers to that, the expense doubles. And many would say, oh no, it's doubling. You're causing everybody to have to pay more for health insurance. That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it, which is reality, is the Obamacare program was always extraordinarily expensive, way more expensive than the other forms of insurance we had prior. They hijacked insurance. They started paying tax money towards it. It caused insurance costs to go through the roof because you guaranteed money from taxpayers, and so they could get rich, and that's all stopping. And they're freaking the F out. It stops December 31st. They've still got 3 months to try to come up with something to save it. But literally, that's part of why they're shutting down the government now, because they want this guarantee. They want these guarantees with health care. Now, they're starting with the ones that are ending the quickest, which is the one big beautiful bill. That actually would go into effect immediately, starting the fiscal year of October 1st, which government shut down. So it's not technically in effect, or it is kind of in effect. I don't even know how that works either. I think it's technically in effect. And so they're freaking out, and they're trying desperately to stop the dam breaking. They're putting their fingers, their toes, they're grabbing friends, they're taking gum and shoving it in the holes. It's not working. It's breaking faster than they can deal. House GOP leaders urging unity in this shutdown. They've canceled votes. So the House is like, nah, there was talk of maybe coming back and trying to get some work done, and they're like, no. Let's let the Senate have this fight. Let's let the Senate do this. Let's not distract from it. Let's not get in the way from it. If we know that there's going to be some sort of alteration to what we've provided, the CR, and so I'm speaking like I'm part of the House, then I'll give you 48 hours to come back, Speaker Johnson says. I'll give you 48 hours notice. Otherwise, we're done. We're out of session right now. So the House is not going to be making any noise, really. This is all up to Thune, all up to the senators. And again, as Trump has promised, the sombrero memes will stop once the budget and the government are restored. And so now Donald Trump's got himself a nice sombrero umbrella. I couldn't think of the word. I live in California. It's like, what is that thing you put over your head when that wet stuff falls? Whatever that is. That's weird. Slippery. I know that. Strange. Very strange. All right, so we got a lot of people right now, Democrats specifically, that are losing their stuff, losing it hard. I mean, there's some people on our side of the fence that are losing their shit too, let's be honest. But right now, predominantly, it seems to be happening on the left. Federal agencies dismantle far-left protest encampment that was in Washington, D.C. They actually had a permit for this, but they broke their permit agreement in some way, shape, or form. I think maybe because they were moving around, going onto private property or something. They were doing something they weren't allowed to. The second they broke the rule at all, even one person within their group, didn't matter. That was an excuse right there. They pulled the permit, and they told them to get the F out, and that was it. They were evicted. So they are no longer allowed to be there. That's a movement in the right direction. Donald Trump trooped this out to ICE, Border Patrol, law enforcement, and all U.S. military. As per my August 25th, 2025 executive order, please be advised that from this point forward, anybody burning the American flag will be subject to 1 year in prison. You will be immediately arrested. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And this Trump posted this on Friday. So this is in effect right now, which means a lot of the protests going on in Portland, for example, they love to burn American flags. In fact, that was the thing that got Nick Sorter arrested. He supposedly put one of those out, and then the police, for whatever reason, arrested him. We still don't fully understand that. Pam Bondi is looking into it. There's certainly a lot of questions, that's for sure. ICE agents have been ambushed in Chicago. This is very interesting how this played out. Essentially, a lady came in and rammed an ICE car, and then like 10 other cars came in and like blocked them all in. And the lady pulled out a semi-automatic, probably a pistol, I'm assuming, and started shooting at the cops, the ICE. ICE people at one point pulled out their weapons, their firearms, and they shot her. They didn't kill her. They shot her. She apparently drove herself to be treated. I'm quite sure she's been arrested. But this is what is happening. We've got literally people, and this lady was posting all sorts of outrageous stuff about how she was going to go there and she'd go and F them, F theirs up and all this stuff, talking crazy talk. And this, again, is what's happening. People are losing their minds. So, again, National Guard called into Chicago. It's also in Portland right now. Chicago, at least 13 people shot Friday into Saturday night. In one day's time, 13 people were shot. We have no crime in Chicago to worry about. Dude, 13 people too many were shot in a 24-hour period. That's a problem, dude. I don't know if you guys obviously are used to 13 people dying a night. That's normal for Pritzker. That's like, no, that's tame. I think the worst we had was 20, These people are messed up. So Pritzker is saying Trump administration is trying to make Chicago a war zone. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, we are. We want all of your greasy, grimy, gopher gut bastards to come on out of hiding and do something stupid, and we're going to arrest you. Put you in jail for about 10 years. So, yeah, it's going to be a war zone for a short period of time, and then the funny thing is it's going to be, well, peaceful, because all the shitty people are going to be arrested. And there's really not that many shitty people, believe it or not. Small number of shitty people really spoiling the bunch for all of us, aren't they? So, yeah, of course, Pritzker's feeling that way. And, the Kristi Noem, apparently this is where the thumbnail comes into play. Check it out.
Can we use the restrooms? No, you cannot. We can? Okay, all right, thank you. Interesting.
So it's a public building that receives government funding, supposedly, accessing the Village of Broadview Municipal Building in Illinois. They were stopped for a quick bathroom break. It's a public building. The Village of Broadview receives at least $1 million in federal funding every year. Receives? I wonder if that should have a D at the end instead, right? Received at least $1 million in funding last year? Because do you think this is going to be met with no problem? That one individual who was being a dick might very well cost funding to the entire building. Wonder who's going to get fired, because that might be what's required. This guy here, which we've got picture of you, sir. This guy, where is he? Where was he? Where is he when he comes up? Nope, she already said it there, huh? Wherever he, yeah, that dude, this gentleman in here. Mm-hmm. Yep. We got you, buddy. So either you're going to lose your job or your whole building's going to stop getting $1 million. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, buddy. Judge blocks Trump's Portland Guard deployment amid Antifa violence. ICE targeted in Chicago vehicle ramming. We did talk about that already, but we actually had a judge, crazy judge, that blocked this. Let's see if I can find the name of the individual. U.S. District Judge Karen, of course, Immergut, stated on Saturday that there is no evidence that protests in the city amounted to a rebellion or significantly hindered law enforcement. They are spray painting a federal building, attacking a federal building, throwing stuff at federal buildings. There's no evidence. Now, this I am expecting to immediately on Monday morning. We'll see. But I am expecting immediately on Monday morning, this will be stayed by an appellate court. Immediately on Monday morning. It'll be stayed pending the trial. Trump, just like in California, is going to be allowed to have the National Guard. He is the commander-in-chief. This is kind of already settled law. I guarantee an appellate court is going to immediately shut this down. In fact, I'm kind of surprised I haven't seen it already, but it is Sunday, so we'll give him until Monday. And I don't think it's going to stop Trump in any way, shape, or form. He's the commander-in-chief. This district judge is not allowed to do this. We've got Stephen Miller talking about this judge. He says this is legal insurrection. The president is the commander-in-chief of armed forces, not an Oregon judge. This is an ongoing terrorist attack on the federal government and its officers, and the deployment of troops is an absolute necessity to defend our personnel, our laws, our public order, and the republic itself. So this is obviously crazy. This is obviously political, and it's obviously not going to stick. AG Harmeet Dillon. She talked about the Portland. Remember the sorter guy getting arrested for no reason, and Pam Bondi saying she was going to look into it. Well, Harmeet Dillon has in fact signed, sealed, and delivered. They have filed the appropriate paperwork to investigate into this. So, yeah, I don't want to read all that. Easy part is they're taking the next steps that they should be, which is pretty freaking awesome. We've got, of course, our good friend Tom Homan talking to McEnany. And he was talking about just the nonsense National Guard's about to take over Antifa's home turf in Portland. Again, just part of the fight, and some good info.
I want to play a clip from Benny Johnson's show. This is Secretary Kristi Noem on what's going to happen with the National Guard in Portland. Listen to this.
We're sending in the Department of War at the request that I made to Secretary Hegseth. They're going to be rolling in here within the next 24 hours. What we saw happen to that journalist last night will not happen again.
Will we see National Guard in Portland pretty soon?
Oh, absolutely. And they've been very successful. They were very successful in Los Angeles. The first time they deployed, I was in Los Angeles when our facilities were being attacked. Our officers were being attacked. And thank God President Trump brought the National Guard in, because what he did, he saved Los Angeles and let ICE go out there and continue to arrest public safety threats and make Los Angeles safer, which we had done. He sent National Guard to Washington, D.C. Look at the amazing work they did in Washington, D.C. Crime rate was reduced greatly. So it's a right formula. It's a right mix, because National Guard will provide security to men and women of law enforcement, ICE and CBP, so they can continue doing what President Trump promised the American people was going to do. Arrest the public safety threats, the national security threats, remove them to the community and deport them. It makes those communities much safer. So it's a genius plan, and I support 100%, and you're going to see more of this, because President Trump's going to keep his promise to the American people to make this country safe again.
So I want to play.
Promises made, promises kept. Promises made, promises kept. That is for shizzle. This was pretty cool. Protester who, a number of protesters who get what they deserve.
Ugly bitch. And now she's insulting me and telling me that I'm fat. What's their job?
Arresting people who are assaulting people on public property.
Like you guys?
Oh, who am I assaulting? Who am I assaulting? Who am I talking to? Excuse me, touching like this? Excuse me, touching like this?
In the face! In the face!
I can't breathe! I can't
See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out.
Yeah, I guess she can't breathe after she got shot in the face with pepper spray. Do you feel bad for her? I don't either. Not even a teeny tiny bit. A Dem Attorney General candidate. Attorney General. You know, the guy that's supposed to help make sure that laws are upheld and whatnot. Yeah, he literally had fantasies and shared them about political murder. He texted these to a friend, 3 people, 2 bullets, Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. Gilbert was the person that was Republican that was running against him. Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head. Spoiler, put Gilbert in the crew with the 2 worst people you know, and he receives both bullets every time. And then the individual who was a Democrat that he was saying this to, emailing, texting, whatever, said, Jay, please stop. It really bothers me when you're talking about hurting people or wishing death on them. It isn't okay, no matter who they are. This is Cone, or however is the person that was saying it. She said, I've told you this before. Only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy. And that's what this guy's opinion is. Anyway, he wants to be the Attorney General, and he literally is talking about killing his Republican House Delegate Republican House Delegate Carrie Cohn was the one. I thought she was Democrat, sorry. But yeah, they were talking, this is Jay Jones. This dude's bad apple, bad mojo. I'm trying to find the other person's name, but yeah. He was, talking about killing this individual. So this is really, really bad. Everyone's telling him he should drop out. People on his side of the fence, certainly everybody on our side of the fence. President Trump had an opinion about it. Like, everybody is pissed about it. The governor, Youngkin, House Speaker Johnson, they're all calling on Jay Jones to leave AG race after violent texts surface. Not okay, bro. He should drop out. Now, we'll see what happens. But the fact that the dude's promoting violence as a law enforcement person, right? Like someone that's supposed to be following the law, that's pretty bad. So we'll see what happens. 2 killed, 12 injured in a shootout in Alabama. There were 2 parties. I guess there was 2 people that hated each other, and there was some big, large street gathering, and they decided to shoot at each other and never shot each other. No one's been arrested, but they killed 2 bystanders and injured 12 others in their process of trying to shoot each other. Again, nobody's caught them yet. Hopefully the FBI can happen. I'm assuming Montgomery is maybe a blue city, but I mean, Alabama's obviously a red state, but they certainly have pockets of blue, probably. Unhinged man gunned down after charging officer with a shovel outside an elementary school. It's literally, this dude just sees this cop car. It was a police, Anaheim, out here, kind of close to Disneyland, for those of you that are kind of familiar with the area at all. Anyway, Anaheim's kind of where Disneyland is. Anyway, all said, this dash cam footage, this dude comes up, starts swinging the shovel. The dude gets out of, he's like, holy crap, gets out of his car, and basically fired 2 warning shots. And it said, bro, you're going to get shot if you keep this up. 2 warning shots. The dude's still swinging the shovel at the cop. So he shot him. Dude died 30 minutes after arriving at the hospital. Again, people are losing their freaking minds. Ex-Jets quarterback Mark Sanchez. He called in a food delivery. The individual showed up. Apparently there was some confrontation. Something happened. Former Jets quarterback, big guy probably. Football player, right? Basically was creating some sort of issue. The driver shot him with pepper spray, and then the quarterback, Mark Sanchez, stabbed him. Which, again, I don't know what happened. We're going to find out, but the dude got arrested. The quarterback got arrested. The individual who pepper sprayed claimed self-defense. So I don't know if it got physical, maybe pushed him or something, right? And if that happened, the assault happened already, then the dude was well within his rights to pull out pepper spray and deal with it. In which case, escalating to stabbing is significantly worse. If any of this is remotely true, ex-Jets quarterback Mark Sanchez is going to jail. We'll see. I mean, again, he'll get his day in court, but the evidence sounds pretty harsh, that's for sure. Got a dismissal pending. It's a legal update in Georgia's Fulton County Fannie electors case. This is the one where they're trying to go after these people for the electors. Judge Scott McAfee, he says, look, here's the thing. You are definitely barred from being a part of this. Was it Letitz out there? Or what's the one in Georgia? What's her name? Forget her name. Right? The one that's the Georgia lady. State of Georgia can't have her anymore. The one that was dating her beau, you know, the guy that was helping out, basically said, look, you've got 14 days to put someone else in this, or this case is going to be closed, and it's going to be closed without prejudice, which means they can't bring it back up again. And so we'll see what happens. I think they're going to let the time go by. I don't think they're going to replace, what the hell is her name? It's bugging me that I can't remember it, but whatever. Letitz is New York. I know that. I'm drawing a blank on the one from Georgia. Whatever. It doesn't matter. And please don't email me. I could look it up right now if I really wanted to. I just don't want to. That's all. You guys know who it is. You know, we've been talking about her forever. This is interesting. Newsom scandal. His first partner is hiding records, and they've been trying to get a hold of them, and they're being really shady. And we've understood that they've probably stolen some or borrowed some of those funds. And didn't ever give him, nobody in the Palisades area has gotten any of that money. There was like $100 million raised. Apparently it's gone someplace else, and it was all supposedly raised for the Palisades fire.
Wife, the first partner, has her own office. So, of course, we asked for all the communications between the first partner's office and any other person or entity regarding the Palisades fire and fire aid. The first partner's office responded that those records have been identified, but will not be produced because they are correspondence of and to the governor. They would reveal the deliberative process of the governor, and they are attorney-client privilege. I'm so confused. Doesn't the Office of First Partner, did it take like $5 million of taxpayer money? So wouldn't my taxpayer dollars make me privileged to know what these communications regarding the fire that burned down my house in town are about? Also, they also said that no records exist regarding financial proceeds from fire aid or organizations that received proceeds from fire aid. Excuse me? They also said no records exist regarding nonprofits that receive money from the office of the first partner. Oh my God. If you don't believe this, please do your own Freedom of Information request, FOIA, Public Records Request, to the Office of First Partner. Please do it today. Everybody, you can do it. This your legal right. So please do it, just so you can see how insane this is. Thanks.
Yeah, so craziness what's going on with California. And Fannie Willis is the person. I'm just curious how many emails I got. You guys, I tricked you on purpose. See how many of you guys did it. Hopefully no. Hopefully none. We'll see. It's too late. If you've already sent it. White House is now investigating the case of a man who is walking free in Kentucky despite breaking into a house and stabbing a child to death. Dude's already free. Already walking free. This is crazy. This is Kentucky, by the way. Kentucky. Again, Massey is from Kentucky, but Rand Paul. Also, we got Kennedy, right? He's from Kentucky. What the hell's going on, guys? What's going on in your crazy state? This is unacceptable. Breaks into a house and stabs a child to death, huh? And he's already out. Already out. That's fantastic. We love that. Absolutely. Whoops. Pakistan's offering Washington new Arabian seaport to tap critical minerals. This is a mixture of things, I'm quite sure. But all the same, we are still getting some critical minerals. This is a big deal for Pakistan. India and China are buddies. Pakistan, obviously not friends with either of those people, and figures that's the place where we're siding. So, yes, this is going to be interesting how it plays out. Pakistan actually did rather well against India when they had their little war, and Pakistan's a tiny-ass country and a much, much smaller budget, and yet they still did rather well. Did rather well, to say the least. Gold and silver are looking good right now. Silver's just under 48. How funny. 47.97 right now. That's definitely going to go up, and so is gold for that matter. So a lot's expected. Futures look pretty flat in the big picture. Where's crypto at? I'm kind of curious. Bitcoin's kind of low a little bit, but it's up. It's positive. It's 123,000 right now for a Bitcoin. Ethereum seems to be about where it's been. Yeah, anyway, XRP is the one that I was tripped on lately. Oh, it just went down. How funny. Oh, they're all starting to, like the crypto exchange just caught on fire. Interesting. All said. Folks, if you got a 401k or an IRA, inflation's taking a bite out of your money every single day. Every single day, inflation's taking a bite out of your money. Your money's losing value. That's why, rents are going up. Energy's going up hugely, which they don't factor into inflation, by the way. Gas and electricity are not factored into inflation. Rent, not factored into inflation. Those three things right now have spiked through the roof. Now, grocery prices certainly are up. I actually have a story showing the most expensive places to buy groceries. But that's your dollar losing value. And if you're sitting in the stock market right now, which we know is a bubble that's hopefully deflating slowly, but it doesn't seem to be, and is probably going to have a tough day at some point, it's gonna be a tough day when that happens. You don't have to be trapped in that. I've got some real good friends at Goldco that can help you get through that and get out of that situation, tax-free, penalty-free, and quickly. They're actually really good at what they do. Best customer service you'll ever see. But if you've got a 401k or an IRA, think about you're tied to cash, to Federal Reserve notes, which are losing value every day, losing buying power every day, and it's tied to a stock market. You got a double whammy just waiting. I mean, you know you're losing value every day because of inflation. That's a given. And in fact, the stock market's not actually gone up higher than inflation. Inflation's actually risen quicker. So most people are actually either sitting very flat or actually not as positive as they think. Now, of course, the stock market's the highest it's ever been. Inflation's also the highest it's ever been. The dollar's worth the less it's ever been. The least it's ever been, that's probably better. You don't have to be stuck in that. You literally can take the buying power right now of your money and hold it, lock it down, and be able to buy that later. And here's the thing, the new currency that we're going to go into, it's going to be backed by precious metals. We're hearing about it. We know Trump was huge with Andrew Jackson, the other one that threw out the Fed. We know that they put fencing around the Treasury and fencing around the White House, but no fencing around the Fed. It's not an actual federal government thing. It's actually licensed out of Puerto Rico. It's like, I think, as it's joked, it's as federal as Federal Express. It is not. It's a private organization. They print our money, and they charge us to do it. 2% inflation is considered a no inflation. You lose 2% of your value every time they print a dollar. And then that's how they're doing their budget. Trillions of dollars printed. It's not taking in taxes or anything like that. Then they pay their bills with the Treasury or with the Fed. That's where these trillions of dollars come, and then we instantly go in further debt. It's a system that can't work. You can lock in your buying power. 1 ounce of gold back in the 1930s would buy you a fully tailored suit. Today, 1 ounce of gold will buy you a fully tailored suit. Holds buying power. This is not something you buy to get wealthy. This is not something, it's actually multiplier effects kind of kicking in, so it's helping a little bit. You buy this to protect. This is a horrible investment when the economy's great. This is an incredible investment when the economy's going to shit. That is why you get precious metals. And if we're going to a currency that's going to be asset-backed, backed by gold and silver, and or gold and silver already, then you're already halfway there, aren't you? You're actually taking a step towards the new currency. Even if you're matched in your 401k, fine, keep it going. Keep putting money into it. Great. Divest a bunch of it and protect it. Protect what you can while you can and keep pumping into it. Heck yeah. And maybe down the road, if this hasn't happened by January, maybe divest some more. Because that means we're still waiting on it, and I guarantee inflation's still going to be going on. Go to drslikesgold.com. drslikesgold.com. Protect your wealth before they take it. You're going to get up to 10% free silver. It's tax-free, penalty-free. It's physical metals put into a trust. And likely you're going to get this Ronald Reagan coin, a collector, half-ounce, pure silver coin. It's got a picture of Ronald Reagan suiting on the front. It's very cool. And you're going to get your wealth protection kit. You're going to learn why this is the best move at this time. Go to drslikesgold.com. drslikesgold.com. Get out of this system before they get out of you. And we know they very much want to do that. War with New York and California seems to be kind of going on. Donald Trump truthed this out. Corrupt Letitz James is costing New York State hundreds of billions of dollars in lost business. No company or individual wants to be there knowing that she's the Attorney General. She is a complete and total disaster who tried running against Kathy Hochul for governor and only got 1% of the vote in polls and quit. She then went back to her witch hunt against President Donald J. Trump and others until this scum is removed from the Attorney General's office. No company will move to New York, and few companies will be using the New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ for going public. The new Texas Exchange will be taking all of this business away, and we're taking hundreds of billions of dollars. We also found this out. Gateway Pundit put this out. The Letitz James effect. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac shutter New York offices amid mortgage fraud allegations. In a development that has stunned New York's financial political establishment, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have announced the closure of their offices in the state. According to a report published by Fox News, the decision comes as the mortgage giant seeks to distance themselves from what they describe as Attorney General Letitz James' corrupt and dangerous business practices in the state. At the center of this storm is New York Attorney General Letitz James herself, who faces legal scrutiny following allegations of engaging in years of mortgage fraud, as I have detailed in the Gateway Pundit. While James has built her political career around aggressive prosecutions of real estate fraud, the federal government apparently won't stand for James's hypocrisy, as New York State's top legal officer is alleged to have engaged in the very practices she has vowed to stamp out. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are government-sponsored enterprises that play a pivotal role in the U.S. housing market. Industry analysts warn that the closures could harm New York City residents, or New York residents for that matter. Gavin Newsom. He's vowing to slash funding of universities that sign Trump's compact for academic excellence. Says if any California university signs this radical agreement, they'll lose billions in state funding, including Cal grants, instantly. California will not bankroll schools that sell out their students, professors, researchers, and surrender academic freedom. California universities that bend to the will of Donald Trump and sign this insane compact will lose billions in state funding immediately. California will not bankroll schools that sign away academic freedom. Now, this compact has reportedly been presented to the University of Southern California, USC, along with at least 8 other institutions, and lays out 10 provisions the school must adopt to receive a boost in federal funding. Among requirements are equality in admissions without racial or gender preference, ensuring free speech and diverse viewpoints, and protecting women's sports and locker rooms by recognizing biological sex distinctions. So Trump is asking universities to be fair and do something that most people support. And Gavin Newsom is fighting hard to keep DEI, fighting hard to continue the racist admission standards, trying hard to continue to dumb down California's schools so everybody feels safe, so everybody feels equal. So we'll just make it so nobody can pass math, nobody can read, and now we're all equal. Now, again, this is what they're intentionally doing. They're dumbing us down. Go see the movie Idiocracy. If you haven't seen that movie, you're truly missing out on a documentary of where we are right now. It's freaking exactly what it is. The floor fell out. LA's entertainment industry is on full collapse. Hollywood's toast. Right now we're talking about the whole group of production people, right? There's all sorts of music, songwriting. I mean, with Diddy in jail, I'm sure that's slowed down a little bit. But I think he was in Florida, to tell you the truth. I think he probably goes all over the place. But anyway, nonetheless, films are not being made here. They're being made out of country, out of state. California is so unfriendly with everybody. Everybody hates it and does not want to work here. Like me personally, no matter how big my company ever gets, I could never have an employee just because of how incredibly difficult it is to have it. Unless I was just making insane amounts. Because you just throw so much money away. It's stupid. It's an absolute waste of money. The employee doesn't get it, and the state basically does. So it's a mess. And they're assholes on top of that because then they try to dictate how and all the different things you've got to provide. It's just insane, right? It's very insane. So, yeah, our state is dying. And like New York, it needs to, right? We'll survive this, but ultimately it's got to get so bad that people see it. And that's I guess, the hard part for people that are already awake because, yeah, it sucks watching things get worse. It's like, can't you see this yet? And they're like, see what? And you're like, all right, whatever. Big giant-ass thing that's right fucking in front of you. That thing, but whatever. Don't mind me. I'm just here. Donald Trump Jr. Retruthed or reposted Governor Newsom's press office. They were trying to make fun of Trump. It's pretty awesome. New profile pic in honor of our queen. Of course, Governor would be stoked about the queen. But they made Trump a queen. They made him a woman. And then Donald Trump Jr. goes, I thought you guys love men who dress up as women. Right? Like, come on. This is awesome. This is hilarious. I bet Donald Trump thought it was funny as hell. Thought it was probably funny as hell. I hope. Anyway, I hope he has a sense of humor about shit like that. But he does hate his enemies. It's true. You guys remember the Sim farm, right? That was meant to shut down the 911 calls and God knows what else over by the UN, especially before the UN was coming and they found it, right? You guys remember that? This was China-owned. China's got a bunch of these in this country. Every time 911 calls get trashed, and this has been happening a bit lately, we know for sure this is what's up now. We are at war with China. China is attacking us. There are games being played. I would assume Trump is doing similar things, and or the way he's getting them is shutting them out, blocking them out, financially toasting them, and the tariffs. I mean, a lot of the stuff that Trump's doing is very hard on China right now. And they're trying to make deals around this TikTok thing. Apparently, again, Ellison has purchased it, and they're supposed to be controlling the algorithm. It's still going to be partially Chinese-owned, but will control the algorithm. Be curious to see how data flow works on that, because if they're still partially owned by China, China's going to still want either A, to be able to train their AI off it, which if the algorithm's better, it might not be as horrible. Yeah, I mean, we're going to see. We're going to see how this plays out. All said, we have a war that is happening, literally. Currently, we are at war with China. It's just a different kind of war. Cartels target federal immigration agents with $10,000 bounties. Kristi Noem reveals this dangerous and unprecedented action that's happening. Very sad. So again, offering $10,000 to kill them and $2,000 for their capture. Wow. I think it would be almost the other way around. $2,000 for killing, that's easier to do, but maybe just the killing works better. Yeah, it's true. I guess if you capture them, right, that doesn't, as I think out loud, but as you capture them, people wouldn't know, right? That would be secretive. But when you kill them, that's public, right? So you get more bang for your buck, no pun intended. This is pretty effed up, though. This is what's happening. Again, we're at war. NFL won't be able to sleep at night over Bad Bunny's Super Bowl performance. Kristi Noem hitting these guys hard. Says, well, they suck and we'll win, and God bless us, and we'll stand and be proud of ourselves at the end of the day, and they won't be able to sleep at night because they don't know what they believe, and they're so weak. We'll fix it. Said there will be because of Department of Homeland Security is responsible for keeping it safe, and they're talking about the Super Bowl. So I have the responsibility for making sure everybody goes to the Super Bowl, has the opportunity to enjoy it, and leave. That's what America is all about. So yeah, we'll be all over the place, and we're going to enforce the law. So I think people should not be coming to the Super Bowl unless they are law-abiding Americans who love this country. Uh-oh. As far as as ICE being at the Super Bowl, as far as I am aware, there's no tangible plan for that in store right now. However, of course, this administration is always going to arrest and deport illegal immigrants when we find them. If they are criminals, we are going to do the right thing by our country. So again, yeah, nothing is off limits, really. We're not planning on going there and arresting people, but sure as shizzle. Going to find out. One thing that's interesting, so many people may not understand that one of the things that Grok uses to train itself or get answers for people, everyone thinks AI is so smart, it cracks me up. One of the places Grok gets its answers from is Wikipedia, literally. Now, funny thing about Wikipedia is Soros has actually been donating to these companies that are part of Wikipedia. Literally been paying for, help supporting Wikipedia. There's like Wikimedia, Wika something. They got all these wiki names. Wikimedia. What are the other ones? Wikimedia. Where's the Wikipedia? Obviously, there was like one for audio or something, or docs. Anyway, the creative names nonetheless. Soros is paying money to these groups, and it's Tides money essentially, right? So their search results get changed. So when people look up stuff about Tides and how much Soros funds, that information's edited. That information's never in Wikipedia because Soros is pumping money into the Wikipedia establishment and thusly controlling the information. So Grok doesn't necessarily have access to everything it should. And Wikipedia is, like everybody would acknowledge, is a shit source of information. It's constantly edited in bad ways. It's extraordinarily left-leaning. I pray that Grok's got other places that it gets information, but whatever. This is just the weirdest story ever. I don't even know. I'm assuming the dude was drunk. It's the best I got right now. Harvard law professor placed on leave. He was firing a pellet gun near a Boston area synagogue. And it was on Yom Kippur, so it was that night. And he was out with a pellet gun. And somebody asked, hey, the cops essentially got a call. The dude's running around with a rifle shooting stuff. And they hit him up and they're like, what the frick are you doing? He's like, I'm hunting rats. Rats. Now that could easily be an anti-Zionist thing for sure. Could just be rats. I mean, it's Boston. It's possible. Investigators did not necessarily believe that he was targeting the synagogue, per se, but he was charged in Brooklyn district courts with illegally discharging a pellet gun, disorderly conduct, disturbing the peace, and malicious damage of personal property, according to court records. He's a Harvard Law School spokesperson. Oh, sorry, that's this guy was a visiting professor at Harvard Law School. He's a professor. And he didn't know to not go out and shoot his pellet gun at rats. The fuck is this going, right? Like, you guys tripping too, scratching your heads going, what the shit? Right. This has to be something else, right? This is the weirdest, or he was drunk. I'll give him that, right? Like, please, be on drugs or drunk or something cool and explain it to me. Otherwise, huh? He's apparently an associated professor in the University of Sao Paulo Law School and heads a Brazilian think tank focused on social and environmental justice. How did he get a gun here? How was he walking around with a pellet gun? Was it the place he was staying? Was he staying with a friend and they had a weapon? Like, just nothing about this makes any damn sense to me. Fucking strange as hell. This is a weird world, folks. Supreme Court ruled 6-3 on Friday to allow President Donald Trump to terminate Biden-era protections for Venezuelans, rejecting the lower court's rulings that had blocked the move. That's pretty cool. Trump's going to slash refugee admissions by 94% from the Biden levels. That's a big drop, right? Trump's White House is poised to dramatically reduce the number of refugees that will be accepted into the United States over the next fiscal year. Apparently, it's mostly opened up to Afrikaners right now, and nobody else, frankly. So not a lot of people are allowed to come in as refugees at the moment. Refugee time is done. Appeals court rules against Trump in the birthright citizenship battle. It was a 3-judge panel, if I remember correctly. So again, this will move up. It'll be, again, it needs to get to the Supreme Court. It's got to go through the process. And stopping birthright to citizenship is, albeit something that is important to do. He's stopped the flow of people into this country. So kind of for the most part, he stopped the bleeding. And this gives this time to work its way through. This is going to be a big, big case for the Supreme Court. And they're going to have all sorts of talk on. Yeah, this will be interesting. Because again, most people's understanding, most people that are of the conservative sense or conservative ilk consider birthright citizenship something that was really more to do with slaves. And if slaves had children while they were under custody or protection, that those children would be American citizens. That makes sense. That's perfect. That's what should happen. But to be able to be in another country and to literally somehow sneak into a country while pregnant and then pop the baby out while you're there, and then that somehow entitles you to citizenship? Yeah, no, that's never what the color of the law was ever entitled to be. So this, again, will be a very interesting case. I'm not even remotely surprised that the appeals court shot it down. It is what it is, but it'll be great when it finally gets there. Pete Hegseth posted this. Fact. Department of War has booted the woke culture, DEI military, and a bearded fellow with pink hair and a skirt. And I love that Pete Hegseth posted it on his official channel. He's like, fact. Damn straight. Good job. Also, America's Secretary of War. This is him, I think maybe at the Army-Navy game is my guess, because he seems to be wearing the same clothes that we're going to see here in a moment. But this is pretty cool how he interacts with the troops. This is our Secretary of War, and this is pretty cool. Check it out. Did you guys ever see Lloyd Austin do that? No. Right? Sorry to play it again, but I still think that's cool. I just think that's cool. Here's Hegseth, I believe, also after, I think, Navy won against Army or Air Force. Navy won, needless to say, I think. But here is Hegseth partying with them. I love that they're throwing around water and not champagne like it would probably be in a lot of professional locker rooms after a big win like this. So he probably doesn't mind the fact that his blue jacket, it's always the same. I mean, I assume he's got multiples of those. At least I hope he does. He's an important person. He should have changes of clothing. Hegseth removes another top Pentagon official. This John Harrison is no longer going to serve as Chief of Staff to the Secretary of the Navy. We are grateful for his service to the department. I wonder if he's a leaker. Interesting. Chief of Staff to the Secretary. Yep, we talked about some people that weren't going to survive this. This would definitely be one of them. So cool that Hegseth's getting rid of this guy. Trump is currently celebrating the Navy's 250th anniversary amid the shutdown. I think that was partially why it was so cool that the Navy won. Might have been on purpose to let them. Who knows, right? I mean, come on. The armed forces love each other and compete heavily against each other. I know you guys would correct me, all you guys that have been in like the Marines and stuff. That's fun. I used to, when I was earlier with the glitch in the Matrix, when we had Alpha and Ron, Ron was Navy and Alpha was Marine. So I'd always just try to poke the two bears and see if I could get them fighting with each other. It was just always a good time whenever that happened. So needless to say, the good old days. So yes, they were celebrating it. I believe it was 1 o'clock Eastern time, and right now it is about 2:25 Eastern time. So I think this thing has long since happened. I didn't watch any of it. I don't know what exactly we were going to see. I saw that he was going to come and talk, and I didn't feel like waiting for that. Here are the most expensive places as far as groceries are concerned. Geneva is the most expensive place. Second is San Francisco. Well done, San Francisco, California. Good job, Gavin Newsom. Yeah, second most expensive place to buy groceries. It happens to be where you pretty much reside. I mean, Sacramento technically is inland about an hour, but whatever. Zurich is third. New York is fourth. Boston fifth. Chicago sixth. Los Angeles seventh. Seoul, Korea 8. Oslo, Norway 9. Hong Kong 10. 11, Sydney, Australia. Paris, France at 12. 13, Singapore. 14, Vancouver, Canada, as I like to say. Melbourne, Australia at 15. Good job, Australia. You guys made it, mate. 16, Montreal. We got Tel Aviv is 17. Luxembourg, 18. Toronto, 19. And Wellington is number 20. The most expensive places to buy groceries. So if you don't live in any of those places, you probably have a much better standard of living than most. Blizzard has stranded nearly 1,000 people on Tibet's Mount Everest slope, and rescue efforts are underway. A lot of people are possibly dying. They're saying possibly up to 47 people have died thus far. Storms come in very quickly. It's one of the most dangerous things about any sort of tall mountain trekking, anything along those lines. Storms can come in very quickly, and if you're in a bad place or if you're not prepared for it, it can very easily be the end of your life. It's very, very dangerous. So they are trying to save these people. Prayers, obviously, to people. That is very, very sad that's going on. Immortal monkeys. Not quite, but scientists just did some really interesting stuff to reverse age these monkeys. And that's something that needs to be talked about. Super stem cells boosted memory in monkeys and offered protection against neurodegeneration. They halted age-related bone loss and restored vitality in more than half of the 61 tissues examined. The therapy also cut back harmful inflammation and reduced the burden of senescent cells, the aged, non-dividing cells that drive aging throughout the body. How did they do that again? Super stem cells. Stem cells. We've talked a lot about this, guys. Stem cells are extraordinarily important. Stem Active, it's probably the most important product that Healthy Home sells. Hands down. They got a gel, easier way to do it, or the pills. I'd say the gel is probably the best way. My girlfriend stopped taking it, so I've actually got a few of the gels. I'm going to try them. I used the pills. I just took them this morning. Your stem cells are super important. In fact, I know some people that have even gone a little heavier on the Stem Active and using more of it, because what it does is it creates more stem cells in your body by your own body. And your stem cells are your healing. Your stem cells are the things that help slow down aging. Your stem cells are the things that help keep your bones strong. It's the stem cells that become other cells in the body. It is one of the most important things that you can possibly do to give yourself the best leg up on this healing, it's a healing process, but certainly the aging process as well. A lot of people say it sucks growing old. Kind of does, but it doesn't have to suck as bad. Again, Stem Active is incredible. I had issue with my, I popped a shoulder out when I was younger. Couldn't remember the body part. Words. But I popped it out, and I was having pain when I was working out. This helped with that. This is also helps with a lot of people that have talked about, they've had some, we've had some rheumatoid arthritis. We've had people that have actually seen benefits with eczema. We've seen, especially any autoimmune system, any immune system stuff, they've found a lot of positive benefits with Stem Active. This is one of these things that's it's not necessarily a cure-all, but what it does is it gives your body the ability to heal itself way better than anything else. You want to go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Incredible product. Stem Active for sure. Balance. These ladies were talking about the balance. I was on a call recently. Ladies that I don't know a lot. I learned a lot on my call. I mean, I learned about stuff that I don't generally hear people talking about, unless they don't usually talk about stuff like this in front of men. So me and the other guy, Peter, were kind of, hey, you guys can just sit back while we talk. The three ladies were having a go at it. But some ladies, I guess, are on these pills, right, that kind of help with your hormones, right? Some sort of weird hormone thing that doctors prescribed. One of the ladies on the call, it didn't work at all for her. She had zero luck with those pills. The other lady on the call had some luck with those pills, but started using the balance. Both of the ladies said literally day one of using the balance, and they were already feeling different and better. And it's really for people going through the change. They've even talked about younger ladies too, by the way, because what this does is it really helps your body deal with the hormones. Ladies' bodies mostly. There's some men that use it, but whatever. Ladies, it helps with your hormones. It helps even when you're younger. And kids, that's one of the things that's all crazy. Their hormones are all out of whack. That's a good time to use it. But certainly as we age and our hormones start to drift away, this helps tremendously. And again, powerful plant-based. It's your body doing this. There are zero synthetic hormones in this product. So you can use it with your hormone medication if you'd like. One of the ladies literally stopped taking the hormone replacement pills or whatever and just balance is all she needs. She's stoked, and she literally day one felt better. The other lady's doing both, and she loves it. She's feeling great. And again, one day she was already feeling better. Balance is causing, balance to be restored to many women's lives. Things that seemed out of control, that seemed out of your control, are no longer. It's a transdermal lotion. You literally just put a little, they call it clicks. So I guess how many clicks is, it pushes out a small amount of lotion. Or some of them said they were starting off with 3 clicks at first, then they went down to 2, then down to 1. And they just do 1 click a day. 1 click, they put it on the wrist, they rub it together, and they're good. So it's one of those things that maybe at first you kind of hit it just to get yourself back to normal. And then you can start dialing it to where it's perfect for you. And 1 click, this product's going to last you about 3 months. 3 clicks, you might go through it in a month. Ish, right? So that's kind of how it works. But it will bring balance back to your life. It'll help with relationships because you're going to be feeling better. You're going to have more patience. It's going to help with kids, grandkids, and all that stuff. Check out the balance, another one. Amaze is exactly that. It'll amaze you. One of the ladies on the call talked about the only reason she started doing this product was her hair. She was freaking out about her hair, and that was done. It immediately started helping. Her hair is gorgeous too. It was pretty cool seeing her on the call. But sagging skin, sore muscles, joint discomfort, lifeless hair, fingernails. Amaze. It's collagen and it's a peptide. And the peptide just means it's extremely small, little protein beads, if you will. Your body absorbs it amazingly fast. It's a liquid. It's literally these little packs. It's awesome. And it tastes amazing. It's just it. It's a little pack. It's a liquid in there. Liquid. And you will be amazed. I'll leave that one out because I need to take it for the day. You'll be amazed at how quickly that actually starts to make a difference to your skin, the way your skin looks. You're going to start to look younger and your hair is going to start to grow even better. And again, some people that have been using fake nails forever because they can't get their nails to grow, well, they're talking about the same thing with this. Their nails are now growing. They don't need fake nails anymore. Amaze is an amazing collagen supplement. There's none better out there. A lot of the powders they talk about actually go in and they surround your stomach and they create almost kind of like a paper mache around your stomach, and they can actually cause issues with absorption of all sorts of stuff from your stomach, but not to mention the collagen that you keep dumping in there as a powder. This is a liquid. It's a collagen peptide. It's small little itty bitty things that immediately absorb into the body. There is no powder to get stuck on your insides. This is amazing. Check it out. It's one of the best. Prime also helps. It's a nitric oxide booster. It just really helps move more oxygen through your system. You're just going to notice more energy. It's a weird natural form of energy. There's zero crash. You just have more energy. Take it before you go work out. Take it if you've got a busy day at work and just every day where you're constantly running around, constantly stressing. You're going to find that you've got way more energy. It's going to trip you out. Prime is incredible. It's incredible. It's delicious as well. It's a powder. If you put it under your tongue, it's almost instantly absorbed. I usually put it on the top of my tongue and just sort of work it in. It's absorbed within minutes. It's very quick. You'll notice it. And it's not like you're like jittery or anything. You just have more energy. It's weird. It's hard to explain. I mean, it's one of those things you're going to have to try it. But if you're somebody that feels like you're not keeping up with the grandkids or you're just lethargic, this is something that can help tremendously. And finally, stem cells for your pets, guys. It's about half the price of what we pay for the human stem cell product up top. Same thing. It's a chewable tablet for your pets. Pets, same thing. As they age, their stem cells reduce. This helps them enhance their stem cells. They're healing. If they got arthritis, if they've got issues like that, if they got any other problems, this is totally helpful. Oh yeah, one of the other things that helps with Stem Active, your like liver. Some people maybe have some liver damage. Your liver actually can sort of regrow. It's powerful. It's one of the few things where you can literally cut out part of the liver, give it to somebody, it'll grow into a full liver inside of them, and your liver will grow back that piece. Livers are amazing. Stem cells make a huge difference in that. So if you're someone like me that drinks, I don't drink super, super heavy, and I don't drink a lot of hard stuff, so my liver's probably meh. But some of us maybe not so lucky. It's also something to consider. Also kidneys are, all your organs. It's powerful stuff. Go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Healthy choices, healthy thinking turns into a healthy life, and you guys will be amazed at these products. They are truly, in my opinion, they're amazing. I use the collagen, the Prime, the Stem Active. What's the other ones? What else am I missing? I don't have a pet, so I don't have to worry about that. I don't have Balance. All right, that's the other one I'm not using right now. And the girlfriend she's double dosing on the collagen. I tried to get her to start taking the stem cells again. She said, I don't want to. I just want the Amaze. I'm like, okay. I'm not gonna start a fight over this. That's for sure. danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Make those healthy choices. Check Trump. This guy actually, it's pretty cool. He sort of jumped out in front, wins an election, returns as prime minister in the latest European populist revolt. A lot of this conservative stuff is starting to win over all over in Europe, and Europe's hating it. They are fighting it every way they can. They've literally, I don't know if it was Czech where they showed the individual in the crosshairs. I think that was Germany, the AfD party. So they're desperate to try to stop this conservative movement that is taking the whole world by storm. So billionaire Andrej Babis Ano party in the Czech Republic general parliamentary election on Saturday and is set to return as prime minister as super huge. Japan, they have I think they're about to elect the conservative party as prime minister, and it's also a lady. It'll be the first female prime minister that's ever happened in Japan. That's a little interesting. Hopefully this isn't a deep state attempt. The deep state's been trying to run Japan for a long time. I'm hoping Japan is getting Japan back from the deep state. We certainly know that a big part of what happened on 3/11 way back when, the Fukushima, that whole thing was supposedly a nuclear weapon detonated off the coast. They intentionally made a tidal wave, and they were punishing Japan. And we even had that one prime minister that got shot in public, right? Like, strange stuff's been going on in Japan, so hopefully Japan's taken Japan back from the deep state. I pray. Georgia condemns this coup attack after a pro-EU protesters try to storm the presidential palace. This is Georgia in Europe, not Georgia here in the United States. But they had a big old demonstration that was done by the left, by their form of Antifa, essentially. And they broke into the presidential palace and all this crazy stuff. So, yeah, they were flying the flag of Europe. Again, this is anti-Russian sentiment basically being pushed. And that's part of the problem, is the person that they've got in right now is kind of more pro-Russia. Well, Scandinavia's Russian drone scare, a false flag to crack down on Russia's shadow fleet. Probably partially that, and also they're trying to start World War III. So they're trying to make it seem like Russia is attacking Poland specifically. It's who they keep going after. Poland's the one country right now that seems to be so taken over by the deep state that they can't stop what's about to happen. Because the sad thing is if this does go through, Poland, you're all going to die. Your entire country is going to die if this happens the way you guys are going. You don't want that. You guys don't want that. Don't let your leaders talk you into this. And certainly Europe, I hope they're not stupid enough. I know my audience, we're not going to be stupid when they're going to tell us, oh, drones flew in. No, they didn't. You guys probably launched those drones yourself, you liars. They're trying to start World War III. These guys are disgusting. Munich Airport, latest to briefly shut down after drone sightings. A lot of people are relating these drones to the same ones we were seeing over our East Coast. Come to find out, those were basically ours. Now, I don't know what's happening in Europe, but again, many people are trying to use this as something they're blaming Russia for. We even had Zelensky. He's like, oh, Russia did it. We know Russia did it. How do you know that, Ukraine? You don't have any intelligence, Ukraine. You don't have anything. You don't know crap. Please. So, yeah, many airports have had this happen, and yeah, they're blaming Russia. Why would Russia be doing this? Makes more sense that deep state actors and or Antifa type people and or like whatever. Like, it makes more sense that someone like that's doing this. And no one's really gotten these drones on camera. Oh, there's one maybe. Same drones that no country is able to say what they were or where they're coming from or who they belong to, right? We know exactly what they are. We know exactly who owns them. It's deep state. They keep playing it up like, oh, these are from Mars, or these are China, or they just want to make it Russia. They just want to make it something that scares people. So odds are it's actually the country, Germany. It's probably their drones. And they're flying them over their airport to try to scare people. This is all bullshit. Every bit of it's bullshit. Careful not to fall for it, guys. 5 dead as Russia strikes Ukraine with 50 missiles and 500 drones, forcing Poland and its allies to lock the skies. This is about 43 miles from Poland. Lviv, that's the name of that one. Lviv. I had to actually check that because I already forgot. This is how bad I am with some of these pronunciations. But Lviv is the name of that. That's how you're supposed to say it. So yes, a bunch of drones came in, a bunch of missiles. Again, I don't know what Russia's trying to do, if they're just trying to finish it up. Again, are they taking out the deep state, denazifying? I mean, probably. And so maybe it's taken a little while. This is a huge attack, though. I don't hear how many of them got through or didn't get through, but that's a big attack. So yeah, a lot of crazy stuff going on. Donald Trump posted this, an important statement on Hamas' response to U.S. President Trump's proposal. Out of keenness to end the aggression and genocide being carried out against our steadfast people on the Gaza Strip, and stemming from national responsibility and in defense of the constant rights and higher interests of our people, the Islamic resistance movement, Hamas, has conducted in-depth consultations within the leadership institutions, broad consultations with Palestinian forces and factions, and consultations with brothers, mediators, and friends in order to reach a responsible position in dealing with U.S. President Donald Trump's plan. After thorough study, the movement has made its decision and conveyed the following response to the mediators. Hamas appreciates the Arab, Islamic, and international efforts, as well as the efforts of the U.S. President Donald Trump, calling for the end of the war on the Gaza Strip, the exchange of prisoners, the immediate entry of aid, the rejection of the occupation of the Strip, and the rejection of the displacement of our Palestinian people from it. Within this framework, and in a manner that achieves an end to the war and a full withdrawal from the Strip, the movement announces its approval of releasing all occupation prisoners, both living and remains, according to the exchange formula contained in President Trump's proposal, with the necessary field conditions for implementing the exchange. In this context, the movement affirms its readiness to immediately enter through the mediators into negotiations to discuss the details. The movement also reaffirms its approval to hand over the administration of the Gaza Strip to a Palestinian body of independent technocrats based on Palestinian national consensus and supported by Arab and Islamic backing. As for other issues included in President Trump's proposal concerning the future of the Gaza Strip and the inalienable rights of the Palestinian people, this is tied to a collective national position and in accordance with relevant international laws and resolutions to be discussed within a comprehensive Palestinian national framework, in which Hamas will be included and will contribute and full responsibility. The Islamic resistance movement, Hamas, signs off. They have agreed to the peace plan. So Trump says after negotiations, Israel will agree to the initial withdrawal line, which we have shown to and shared with Hamas. When Hamas confirms, the ceasefire will be immediately effective, the hostages and prisoner exchange will begin, and we will create the conditions for the next phase of withdrawal, which will bring up close to the end of this 3,000-year catastrophe. Thank you for your attention to this matter, and stay tuned. Hamas says it's ready to release all Israeli hostages. They do admit they want a little bit of leniency on some of the dead ones because they said, frankly, they're like, we're not 100% sure where some of the remains are, to be honest with you. And that's possibly very true, right? As much as that might piss people off, I get how that could be true. Amazon sent one woman hundreds of ballots in this Dem state. This is strange-ish. A woman in Newburgh, Maine, was stunned to discover 250 unused state election ballots inside an Amazon package. Now, the package had been opened up, and these were put in it. And I'm wondering if someone was supposed to get this package off this lady's porch before, like they knew it was going to be there and they knew it had, like, ballots in it. Seems weird because Amazon probably didn't do this, so it's strange that this happened, but somebody grabbed an Amazon package, looks like they busted it open, took out the stuff that was in it, and stuck some stuff in it. Why? Again, another weird question, but this is, it's going to make people question all sorts of things, that's for sure, so it could have, some good repercussions too. Trump presses for the Univision return to YouTube. It's very bad for Republicans. I guess Univision helped Republicans gain a lot of the Hispanic vote. And apparently YouTube, owned by Google, has dropped Univision and its local affiliates from streaming packages last Tuesday amid contract disputes. So Trump is hoping that they can figure out a way to make a deal. Google says hackers are sending extortion emails to corporate executives. I don't know if they found a weakness in the Oracle e-business suite, but apparently some sensitive information apparently has been stolen. They're now kind of essentially sending extortion emails, trying to get certain executives to give money, or else these secrets will be shared. And right now, Google's like, we can't say what the information is, and we certainly don't know for sure whether or not it's actually true, but they're trying to figure that out. I don't know if anyone's actually given any money away, but yeah, Cynthia Kaiser, the head of cybersecurity firm Halcyon's Ransomware Research Center, said her company had seen extortion demands ranging from millions to tens of millions of dollars, with the highest coming in at $50 million. So, yeah, be curious to see what all is happening there. And Boeing 777X commercial debut has been pushed to 2027. This is likely going to cost Boeing many billions of dollars, they're saying, because this is a delay, a bad delay. And this is just unfortunate what's going on with this company. I don't know why they can't seem to do anything like this. They're just having a hard time. But yeah, $4 billion this is going to probably cost them. I think Saudi Arabia, is it Qatar, and I forget the Deutsche Lufthansa, yeah, whatever. That German aircraft or airline. Fuck, I'm not even drunk. What the hell? Emirates in 2026 is the other one too. So these are the ones that were buying a bunch of these and are getting screwed. They look beautiful in the pictures inside. I'm assuming this is the first class section because it seems like they're single seats. This is like gorgeous. And these are obviously for long range flights. But anyways, yeah, it's wild. Big plane. Big plane. Crazy stuff. So hopefully Boeing can stop sucking. That would be ideal. Yeah, we'll see if that ever happens. Finally, just because a lot of you guys probably like Steak Shack, they're literally going to be installing the tallest and largest U.S. flags at every single location that they're legally allowed to do. Good job, Steak Shack. Or Steak and Shake. That's pretty cool. They're learning. This is people that are paying attention to what's actually happening in this country, as opposed to people like Cracker Barrel that just have no clue whatsoever. A lot's happening, folks. This is going to be a busy week. It's going to be an interesting week. Keep the schools and your protection bubbles, please. We need some help on that one. And I think there's likely going to be a few more people that they're going to attempt to assassinate, too. I don't know if it's just necessarily Americans. I'm expecting to see some weird stuff in Europe and possibly here as well. So be careful. Keep your head in a swivel. If you see something, say something. Be safe. And we'll get through this together as best we can. Where we go one, we go all. It's On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle.